Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. What do we got going on today? Let's take a look. I think we did this, right? All the way through. I think we just need to see if we can get 750 gold out of today's gold stuff. So let's start there. We did it. Attack with 45 creatures. It's actually a decent number of creatures. So we've got a little bit of something to do in order to get enough gold. But just a couple wins. We've got a good shot at getting all the way up to double doing our jump-ins. Looking at the set progress, this is Shadows over Innistrad Remastered, which you really only can pick up if you jump into one of the drafts that are going on. It's a fun format as far as draft is concerned. I think they saved their whole season by bringing it back, but it's not really what we're doing. We're kind of acquiring cards on a little lower level than that. We can do drafts when their opportunities are afforded to us, but I don't think it's worth putting money into it to do. The other way we could do it is we'd hold on until we got 5,000 gold, and then we could do quick drafts in the sets, which would be a fun way to go. But it just really slows down the progress, right? You're not getting nearly as many cards. You know, you're spending 5,000 gold. You're not getting 2 rares for every 1,000 anymore. So we're not at risk of, unfortunately, not getting a card that we don't have. You can see, like, we've got barely one copy of, you know, 2/3 of the cards, about half the cards we've got one copy of. So we got a lot of room to go up in the set collection, and that's what we're going to do today. So let's check it out and see. We got to attack with 45 creatures, huh? So cards or decks that attack with creatures. This is the deck that we put together for that Shadows over Innistrad one, and I actually kind of liked it. It wasn't that bad. The Catilda with the put +1 counters and the Sigarda summons work together pretty nicely, believe it or not. And then this is pretty good too. So it was surprising, like how well that worked out. We could almost play this deck just outside of that format too. Or maybe that's our strength in numbers one. Yeah, that's our strength in numbers one. I was like, I don't remember them being that good. This was the Hotel Graveyard old set. Oh, it's pretty much the same set. Oh. Okay. Guess that happens sometimes, huh? Little different here. We've got some more engines that go off and kind of make our guys a little easier to attack, especially if we can put some Venom Connoisseurs out on the deck. We've got a couple of evasive flyers, so we're going to play this version of it, but that's what we're going to play. I don't know if it's the best deck we've got. I know it's got the current number 1 onto it, but we'll see. It's certainly a go wide strategy, meaning like we're going to put a lot of little bodies that are out, and then they're going to attack in. Things like Adeline make that really easy to accomplish, really possible. So it kind of fits the bill if we're trying to attack with 45 creatures. We're probably going to do a little bit of that card right there, right? So this card is what I call an engine, meaning every time another card comes in, it does something as well. So it's kind of like, supplying extra value every game, every so to speak. So I do this, and I'll do this just because I need it to be bigger before I can attack. We're going to say no on the attack because 2/1 we'd end up trading out, and the engine can get a lot bigger than just a 2/2. And we would get an extra 1/1, and we would get 2 of our 45 creatures done on the attack. But a single Aspiring Overseer is not enough to say, like, oh my gosh, if we don't get our attack in now, what are we going to do? Conversely, if he casts something big, something in the 3 to 4 mana spot, I'm thinking like a Phyrexian Horror, since this is all mono white all the way across, right? So if he casts something like that, we can utilize Borrowed Times or Ossifications to get rid of it. Put a Malire up there. Right? Yeah, with Malire. Cool. One creature attacked. Alright, still looking at endless amounts of removal coming from opponent here. Plus $1. Wow. You're amazing! I don't think I can block that. That's my turn. Alright, well, you've earned yourself one of these. Congratulations. Okay. I guess if we can't draw a land, we'll have to make do. Yeah, oh yeah. We can just go. There you go. Is it 6 lands? That did not work out. Nice. Let's go with the extra value here. I like the race. I do think that Bomber 8 is going to be in trouble. Boy, this is how you make 3 mana decisions, right? Good on ya, I say. Good on ya. How about we do... Darling Masses. Go. Counts. Well, we had the summons, we had the Catilda, but we just didn't have the mana to get there, so we kind of messed around in this bottom area for a while. It's kind of a cool deck, though. It just does a lot of things. You get a lot of value out of it, so to speak. Okay. So I could do 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I can't really, huh? Um, yeah, that's not even gonna get there, so I don't think it's worth. I think we just, yeah, we'll just put it until down, and then let's put it down in front. It's fine too. Next, Holotalk. Nice, Scarred. So it'll be interesting to see how many creatures we got on the attack side, because I think this is our second 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if they count the creatures, or do they only count them once because they already attacked before? That's the question. If they count them multiple times, we should see the number go up by like probably around 15 on this return, or on this game. I'm good. I'm a human clock. Okay, or not a clock, a human calculator. 1,100 gold. We got the win. Was worth 250 gold. That's how we ended up there. We could definitely play more strength in numbers and get the thing done quick. But what we're going to do instead is just go straight to a jump in, because what's better than getting gold while we're getting cards in order to get gold in order to get cards, right? Like, that's just awesome. Oh, and just to recap, cards that we got yesterday were a little strange. Avon Heart Stabber for the Dimir deck, kind of a cool card if you've got some graveyard stuff going on. And there are some things to make this happen. Some self-mill strategies that I think really pay off pretty good with it. So we'll get there. And then we got Urza's Command, which if we want to build anything with like an artifact blue theme, there are a lot of blue-white artifact combos in Phyrexia All Will Be One with some pretty solid cards. This becomes really important. Ruffian Silencer is not the best, but it's a card. I don't like it. I don't like this Midnight Assassin either. This isn't terrible. Having a 1/3 for 3 isn't like it's usually normally for 2. So you're basically paying an extra mana for the Vigilance, but a Vigilant 1/3 is not that crazy because you're not trying to attack with it. So the whole card's kind of a little weird. Like, I wish this thing had a better stat line on it. Coastal Bulwark is actually pretty good. Extract the Truth, Machine Over Matter. All of those are pretty good. Okay. I like a 1 mana Conniver. Right? That's kind of cool. Can definitely help out with the Fairy Vandals and stuff like that. And getting a 1/2 down on the deck early is pretty solid. So something to remember. Adding the Hypnotic Rifter into the blue decks would be great. Now, let's go back into the jump-ins, though. We're resigning and saying bye-bye to all of our past mistakes or successes. We don't know. Nobody really knows. Bewitching, I believe, is the Sun Gold Sentinel. And she's touchy, if I'm not mistaken. The Sun Gold Sentinel, whenever she enters the battlefield or attacks, you get to exile 1 target card out of a graveyard. So she's kind of like the Graveyard Trespasser in that essence. But that's it. You don't get any like +1s or -1s. If you have 2 mana, you can choose a color, and then Sun Gold Sentinel gains hexproof from that color until the end of the turn. It can't be blocked by creatures of that color, but activate only if you control 3 or more creatures with different powers. So it's the 3 or more creatures thing. Like, I love the idea of her being her own Skrelv, so to speak, and pushing through. That's all great, but I don't know. Ledger Shredder is in counters. Ledger Shredder is really fun. And then Bloodthirsty is our 2 favorite vampires that are out there. One's the Voldarian Bloodcaster for 2 mana, and the other one's the Falconwrath Forebearer for 3. I actually like the Falconwrath a little bit more. It seems like getting to 5 blood tokens is not that easy. It's not, unless you build an entire deck around it, and it's not that useful of a payoff. Getting a 2/2 for it isn't that great. But a Ledger Shredder, that's a card. Like, that's a card that we can use in just a ton of different ways. So counters it is. I saw somebody do some really cool things with the mechs in a game that I played. I just wish they weren't so slow at playing it, but that's okay. Samurai is another good one too, and I think Samurai is the Wandering Emperor, maybe one of the strongest cards in the game. It's a middle chance of getting it. There's a Moth Rider Cavalry, and there's a Restoration of a Ganjo. but the Restoration of Iganjo is really good too. So it's either mechs, which will give us a shot at a Reckoner Bankbuster, or a Mindlink mech, which I think we already have one. And then they have a Surge Hacker mech, which is a fun one too. This is not bad, but it's just not great. So let's go with the Samurai. I don't think we can construct a deck around mechs. I think it's good and limited because of the fact that there's just a lack of removal. I should look at Saboteurs, shouldn't I? Yeah, no, that's never happening. So let's go with Samurai. Yeah, let's go for the Wandering Emperor or the Bankbuster. These are like two of the best cards in the game. Reckoner Bankbuster may actually be better than the Wandering Emperor, but the Wandering Emperor is funner. And there are a few other Samurai cards that are fun to use. There aren't a lot of vehicles that I enjoy, so let's go with Samurai. And let's see if we got the Moth Rider Cavalry. This is in a alchemy card, which makes me kind of sad, but it's okay. The spell costs 2 less to cast if you have no other cards in your hand, or if only other creature cards in your hand are named the Moth Rider Cavalry. Flying and other creatures get +1/+1. So it's a 2 mana in pure white when you're down to the last cards, and it just creates a +1 anthem on all creatures and a 2/2 flyer for 2 mana, which is actually really pretty good. But Seven-Tailed Manta enters the battlefield, put a +1 counter on target creature or vehicle you control. Yay. Sunblade Samurai has Vigilance, and it's a 4/4. You can channel it, which means you can cast it just for 2 random ones, and to turn it into Plains card and 2 life instead. When she comes in, she drops off a +1 counter on 2 other targets. And when they come in, when you attack with 1 or more creatures with counters on them, you get to draw a card. So these all work together pretty nice at the top. Owner of a target non-land permanent puts it on top or bottom. It's kind of like a removal spell, I guess. Another alchemy card. When it enters the battlefield, choose a target creature you don't control and tap it. If you control a creature with a counter on it, the chosen creature doesn't untap on the next step, which is cool. Flash. He'll save every one of us. Conniving is cool. An 0/4 for 3 is not that cool. It'd be great if it was like an 0/3 for 2, but an 0/4 for 3 feels off. This is great. I've actually used this a lot. This is actually pretty fun. Gets you a chance to cast some things out of the graveyard. Ledger Slider is really, really good, and Moth Rider Patrol is fun too. I've never used Candle Trap before, but see all these little 1 mana spells? They're going to really make it easier for us to get our Ledger Slider up. Selfless Samurai is solid. Raffine's Informant's solid. Trainees are good. So we got a lot of ways to put +1 counters on it. Okay, so we're just attacking with 1 Ledger Slider if we can, and we're putting counters on it, and we're moving on up. That's the name of the game. This guy puts together a video and calls it extreme. Fading Hope, Green Sets Twilight, Topiary Stompers, Titan Industries, lots of turtles. Cool. Alright. We didn't end up with much here. We can do a removal spell. Not really removal, just turns him into a 1/1 when we see a big guy. Chances are the first couple creatures here aren't going to be huge. I'll have no problem throwing this out on turn 2. Not that one. That one. I'd love to get a creature though, because even if we want to use this, like, he won't have anywhere to put his +1 counters. Okay, he's feeling the same way I am, which is good. I hate the idea of using any removal spells on these things. Over the plus ones, maybe? No, he's gonna read the whole thing all the way through. That's fine. Did it. Oh my gosh. Well. Let's just get rid of stuff. I don't want a flyer. I should have waited. If I'd have waited, that'd have been smart. These are plus ones, so even my legitimate business person stuff isn't going to do anything. Next, and okay. Just a little bit of a chance of stabilizing. So, I mean, the reason why we find ourselves with our back against the wall is because we just changed our character. Like, we didn't get anything going. We're putting that on there because why not? And then we need a second target for that to go through. We're not going to attach anything, but we're going to feel a little bit better about possibly dropping an Angelic Quartermaster out on the next one, putting the 2+1s out on the Selfless Samurai and the Seven-Tailed Mentor, and then just using the Quartermaster to kind of like pew, pew, stab from above, attack by herself, get the katana, go. Should even get the lifelink, I think. And we'll be making our first attack on turn 7. Casting on 6. Could be worse. He's doing a lot of touching on the cards. These are all do nothing now. And this is a do nothing. So none of these cards do anything. They just are what they are. So he did have one pump. I'm just going to do that, and the worst case scenario is I use the Selfless Samurai. Told you. There you go. Unfortunately, it's just a submit 1. If we do a solo attack at 4 or 5, I think we're good. Auto pay that. Again. What happens if I do it? Nothing. Jump away, my friend. Jump away. Or don't. Your choice. They really get more removal? I don't think so. what happens? Just has Vig, huh? Yeah, I'll say no to the attack. And I'll just delete a few things here. Yep. Well, if we can't heal... I can't stop everything, so we're just going to concede right here. We just couldn't get our life total back up to anything that made sense, and we just couldn't get creatures going that made any sense. So it was just a real slow trudge through the cards. Slow. Just never stop. Let's go. All right, opponent. I like your name. It's got a happy face in it. Okay. What does this get? It's cost if it's the last creature in your hand, whatever. This is going to go poorly, I think. If I can't remove it, I'm in trouble. We can use that on something else. Yeah, that's fine. We gave him Fires of Helen? Or Victory? Like, what? It's pretty big. What'd you give me? A alchemy card I'll never use? Like, yay. Thanks, bud. I guess we'll candle trap that thing. Because you didn't give me any other tools to do, so if you do it to me, I might as well do it to you. You have some defending there. There you go. And then I can... That's not an enchantment, unfortunately. So a third of our lands have been drawn, and about a quarter of our cards. So we've definitely flooded a bit. We would like to have had more, but not getting the creature cards has kind of put us in a good spot. Alright. So I have 3 whites, and this one is pretty cool because it gives a +1. So we'll do it. That'll make the Moth Rider cheaper. And then a Moth Rider cheaper can come in, be a flying creature that gives +1 to everything. And we still have some leftovers, so we can go like this, say attack, and then that can attack, say auto pay. And now we have a first striking 7/6 with vigilance. So currently, we have one enchantment right here, so we can totally do it. Is it just creature cards? No, you cast enchantment card from your graveyard this turn, right? So we just attack with one. Get the candle trap. Auto pay. I don't know why I would pay for it to do it that way again. Something happened. Oh. Okay. No. I'm not gonna do it. Look at all those investigations. I'm sure another creature will come out. And we're just using Eureka like a spell. How? Did you get two? He pulled it out of his butt cheek somewhere. I don't know where, though. That was crazy. We'll just have Moth Rider come in to get the +2 and then the other +1. So we'll be swinging for 5 through the air. Which is fine anytime. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1 counter on a target you control, and then you get to draw a card. It costs 1 extra for each modified creature. We're about to make a modified creature. Sure, that's fine. Next to combat, just 1 attack. Saying yeah to that. Looking for 6 for striking in the air. We can do this and seek a non-land card. And we can use this to draw a card for 3. 4. So I guess we'll do this. Dude. Stop doing things like this. I could draw a card there. We'll just take next to combat. And we'll go with attack. Click next. How come I can't attack it? Oh, it's a samurai or warrior. Resolve. Come on. Nope. Let's go. Clearly care about this game a lot. Dude. Oh, come on. Why are you giving this kid a chance to get back in? So if I could attach it for 2, I think I'd just rather... Yeah, I can't. I can't do that just yet. I think I'd rather just activate the ability to draw a card. That's working. We'll go. If he wants to make that trade. It's up to him. One, 2, 3, because we got to cast it again for some reason. 4 different removal spells in his deck. Like, come on! Don't think that he doesn't even have them. He owns them all, draws them all, uses them all. Like, come on! Yeah, no, draw and block that. You absolute piece of crap. Killing these walls. Modified creatures, 3. Come on, land! This is so frustrating. Keep giving me, like, I'm watching the good card go right into the graveyard, and then I'm watching, like, the card that they give me just be a land 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 times, like 11 times. Oh, come on, come on. Makes more sense to block that. Alright, good game. Let's just be done with this. Like, way too many removal spells for us to be able to handle that. They give us none. We don't have anything that could possibly remove anybody. But on their side, here, take 4, 3, 5. Here, take 5. Take 5. You guys. Come on. Come on. Come on. People be unboxing March of the whatevers. Alright. Well, if you want good news, all you gotta do is cast that one card. I would expect to draw 9 more lands in a row. Because I didn't have any creatures for the first half of the last one. Why would I have any creatures now? Yeah. Still can't get a creature. And I think we're already dead. I'm just gonna quit now. Because, like, at least he's good, which is fast and good, but we don't have a chance. Like, he's gonna be at 5 or 6 damage a round by the time we get our first creature down and watch it just get destroyed. If you fall behind, there's a pace to establishing the board, and if your pace is that much slower than theirs, where they are going to have 3 creatures and you're going to be throwing your first one, and then they get a chance to respond before you do anything with it, it's over. There's just no coming back from that. So we're back in this weird thing again, where we can't draw creatures in this deck. They just don't want us to have any creatures. We have creatures. I've seen them before. There's one. There's another, 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 there's another. We just can't draw them. I see him in there. But they'll give us every card that's not a creature. That they're good at. Okay, so we have some board presence. Let's see how long it lasts. I mean, this isn't exactly presence either. It comes in, it does nothing. Yeah. I should have thrown this Gates of Sea Tower. I wasn't paying attention. I was so focused on complaining about my card draws that the cards that I do have I don't even use right. So that's on me. Who wants to do the trade? I'm fine with that. Okay. And that's why you have the opportunity to do flash. You don't throw it until the very end. Never know. Right. This is a dumb card. I will be blocked. I will be thrown. I will be conniving. And unfortunately, I will not be getting anything out of my connives because, you know, land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lands out of 12 cards. So instead of 37% chance, this needs to read 67% chance. That's more accurate. Okay. Who would you... I mean, I guess we need the card draw eventually, right? I have 1 modified creature, so it cost me 3 to get a card. It'd be so cool if I had 2, but I had to draw lands. Yeah, land. Well, I can double spell here. It's interesting. So I can tap Rafine, and I can use the Imperial Subduer to have the Aganjo Exemplar tap Celestial Regulator, meaning I'm trading with someone that they got. I don't hate that. Yeah, I think though I'm gonna hold on to the Celestial Regulator for 1 more turn until this can attack him. Because then it would be a lot better. Oh, thank God I got a land. I mean, if I didn't get a land, I'd be in trouble, but got that land. 8 out of 15. We're still at over 50% lands. And that's after getting a creature. Yeah. Where are you? 1 card in there? 2, 3. Put them all in. Why wouldn't you do them all? Did you get a land? Oh, thank God. A land. Double taps would mean tap, tap. This guy coming in would be dealing 4 damage with 2 on the back slice. So it would still be trading. This one would be the one that I think could survive and not trade. But you're not a... Oh, he's just a rogue. No, he is no warrior, unfortunately. Yeah. Should I go get a land? No, attack. This is getting horrific. I'm scared. Because I don't have an ability to stop this. Right? I don't have... So... Sure. Let's go with tapping then you're stuck. And then let's go with swinging? All? I don't have the ability to go slow, unfortunately. So, I guess we swing it all. We'll just push in. I can stop that 3 damage regularly, and I can stop that 2 damage regularly. So he can do 4. I can swing in again if he sends all 4 flyers. And with them 3 out of the way, I'd be swinging. I'll be losing 4 damage over there and just getting 4 on my own. And that's fine since I'm so far in advance. That's going to change the equation a little. I already got what I needed out of the Celestial Regulator. So I'm still chumping it. But sick. Keep it coming full steam. Got another one. Alright, so we can train that away. That's fine. We can easily survive that one. That's fine. We can block that one. Too concerned. We're super concerned. Okay. So we touch the Spirit Realm out the Angelic Quartermaster. Right? We swing with 1, 2, 3, 4. This is definitely getting through. This could get double blocked, in which case they'd let that 4 go by. And that would mean they'd be down to 2, and we'd be threatening lethal from the sky. That would prevent them from being able to attack with the Regulator, and they would just be able to do the Ghostly Castigator. But then we'd be okay. So yeah, even if they block with 2 and we lose our Sunblade Samurai, if that happens, the bounce back and forth between the 2 of us means that we're still going to win. Because they won't have enough blockers. They'd have to do a 2-for-1 here though. And I'd much rather get rid of the Guardians. Oh, they didn't. Well, very interesting. So we lose 1 creature, they lose 1 creature, but we still have ours. The Informant can't make it in on this attack, and the Legislator can catch the Celestial Regulator, so we would just be taking 4 damage if they do a full swing. And then we can crack back and make it harder on them. Come on. How does he have so many cards? Oh. Okay, go. I mean, look at how many things he got a chance to throw. 1, 2, 3 different cards, and he still has another one. And of course we drew something we can't go and do anything with. And now I can't attack, and it's over. Oh! He had like 5 cards in his hand. How did he have 5 cards in his hand? I don't understand. He was with me spell for spell. How did he get 5 extra cards to throw hand dump twice on me? I don't get it. We'll go back and do it again. We're doing every move correct, and we're just losing because we're not building these decks. Like, one removal spell is not enough for us to enable the ability to attack. A couple of flyers isn't enough to kill somebody with 20 health. Like, there's no good answers with what we're doing. And I'm sad. Okay. A 2-mana creature. Yeah. We got about 6 more of these. It's been 8 cards, and we've got 4 lands, so we're right at 50%. Every draws it, like, well, we're dead. So we can just concede here again and just move on to the next one. Because if I can't get a creature on the board and you give them the draw and the removal, like, you give them everything. Here, take your turn first. You get to go first. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. And then, oh, here, you take a removal spell so that he'll never get off the back foot. Okay, and then here, take a 1-mana creature with a 2-mana. We'll just curve you out perfect. But we're going to make sure he gets, 60% of his draws our land. That sounds right. Like, come on. Every single game, every single time. Over and 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 over. Over again. My pain, my pain, my pain. Yeah. Land. Land. That's 7. Well, you've had 11 cards. That sounds like way the fuck more than 50%. Why? No, I can't. Why? Why? That's what I mean by, like, the shuffler is just messed up. You can't constantly be at the reverse percentage of what the available land is. So if you have a 33% chance of land, you have a 66% chance of land. If you have a 25% chance of land, you have a 75% chance of land. Just constantly doing that to us. Must everybody have the perfect answers? Yes. Must they all have the perfect answers? We don't even have an achievement. There's nothing we can do. Are you gonna give me a land? You have to give me a land, right? Like, you can't just not give me a land. We need land. Everybody wants land. Yeah, we know how the fires work. Don't worry, everybody. I've got land. I've got land. I've got land. No. Oh, I did it. I drew a not so land. Go. There you go. You can be a legitimate business person. Dude, that is a perfectly legitimate business person all the time. Wouldn't it be cool if you had like a Gix's command right now? Everybody's 2 and under. Just pew. What's the next card? Gets +1 on it. Let's hope it's not a flyer. Don't worry, everybody. Lands are coming. I know you're like, what am I going to do with this 7-8 mana? Like, that doesn't seem... Yeah, the frustrating part of that is it takes away to do that. Not bad. Come on. Angelic Quartermaster. Take out your legitimate business person, I hope. Okay. I got a land. Yeah, that's gonna work. We can put it on. We kind of want it on this guy, right? And then when we go next to combat, that, which will get us a card. And I think it might let us draw, like it might let us... essentially removing 2 blocks, which I told you. Just need to get like indestructible. doesn't have the mana to make the Basher indestructible. Good thing we got a land. How come I can't do the thing? Oh my god, I already did it. We only have 8 lands left, but we're halfway through our deck. What? Yeah. That's really annoying that he has that. But I could give up my 0-4. Oh, come on. Dude, you gave him. I'm just dead. Again, I'm dead. Well, because and nobody's blockable. Like, nothing I can do. Just everything went away. Okay, here we go again. I used to think I was good, but apparently I run into all of these amazing players in the jump in. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. I really not, because I don't think I'm playing any of the cards incorrectly. I just feel like I can't draw a card to save my life. I'm not even going to look up at what he's doing. I don't care. I'm just looking at my cards. I'm seeing how I'm going to be on turn 6 before I'm allowed to do any of this stuff. I don't ever want to play with that hand ever again. Like, it was so bad. Ugh. This is just such a bad card. So, none of this, like, all of this stuff is so... But we got a Legislator. Look at that. We almost got all of our stuff done, too. We need a win. If we could get a win, we could definitely move forward. As far as... maybe protect the Fae? Does that have a Legislator? I think it does. I think it should. Ledger. We're just going to call him Shredder from now on. I have 3 of them? I'm just gonna keep it. It actually seems kind of interesting. You wanna play with it? Let's give it a shot. Protect the Fae. So, the idea here is we've got 4 of those flying guys that get +1 every time we draw our second card. And then we have another black flying guy called a Gurgling Anointer, who does the same. Everything else in the deck is designed to draw cards. Planeswalker, except for the very, very top end. But 2 mana, 1 mana, 3 mana, like this is just about as perfect as we could have asked for. As far as what we've got going on. What's going on? But I'm not so sure I can Jace the Branch Blight Stalker. That's fine. getting the Anointer out now. Makes more sense than doing anything else. Now it's a good time because what we can do is use the experimental augury, I think. What's he doing? Yeah, that's fine. Oh, I forgot about the trample. My bad. How come I did? What? Lost. Well, that's gonna happen. And then I'm okay with doing that at the end. I gotta do it, huh? Well, still, good. So confused. I kind of like the look of that mark right now. Yeah. We just need 2 more. But I hate to say it, that's what it's a bit of control, and it's a bit of let's just control, but it's kind of like a mid-range control. So the idea here is we're trying to develop our board state with creatures that don't hit the deck looking very strong, but with creatures that do get under very, very quickly. And so at this point right now, we can pretty much threaten lethal, and he can't, right? So that's all we need to do. Essentially, in this game is just survive long enough to get to this position. That we're in good shape. We do this next. We can just. I mean, I'd hate to all attack it, but I don't think I'm even risking anything. I'll just do this way just in case there's some. Yeah, exactly. Right. Resolve. We're gonna get rid of this, which is fine, and then we can fake our own death. Oh, that was good. So Protect the Fae is just really unique, and this was a really good draw. I mean, he pulled through most of his good cards with 2 Venerated Brought Priests, 1 Mirror Hall Mimic that got that on there. He got a chance to use Thirsting Roots, Blanchblight Stalkers. We had 2 of those. But Jace was the place, man. Getting the Jace out early and then just making it really, really tough on him while we developed our flying anointers. This is a hulking metamorph. The same idea, though. We can turn it into a copy of whatever we want. And this is what we wanted. We wanted swinging for that. Cool. Cool deck up against the aggroest of aggros, right? Nothing gets more aggro than Venerated Rot Priest with other things going on. 1,050 gold. We got our daily done. We only have 3 wins today. That's really bad, guys. Like, real bad. But, that's okay. They come in waves sometimes. The good news is we're going to keep developing and we're going to keep growing. We've got 3 ledgers. I'm really happy about that. We didn't even get the card. Oh, cool. A 1/1 with Death Touch is not bad. A 1/1 with Death Touch that you can toss 5 mana in at the end of the game in order to create 3/3 colorless zombie artifacts is really kind of cool. A 1/1 with Death Touch that you can make 3/3 zombies with at the end of the game. And if you really, really, really want to ramp into artifacts because you're playing some black artifact deck, you can with Power Stones by making sacrifices on chump creatures. So, okay. I've never built decks around Ashnod. I don't think that she's that meta. I think she was a long time ago, though. Seeing her come down early was like the, kiss of death. Okay, on the science side of things, we're going to do the Unctus meta tech. And the thing about it is, I just played with a deck that had it in there, and I think we've got them. Like, I think we've got 3 of them. Yeah, so there's no reason to go for 4 on there, which means that there's no reason to go that way. Zombies or training. Training gives us the Savior of Ollenbach, which is a mythic card, which is kind of cool. It is right here, Savior of Ollenbach, and we have 3 copies of it, so we don't have to do it, but it's really only good in very heavy white deck hands, because you do want this thing not to come out on turn 3, most likely. You'd rather it be a little bit less susceptible as a target for removal, and then you can have it come out in like turn 4 or 5, and so it's got things that will train it up, it's got things that make it stronger, and it's got other targets for removal, so that by the time people figure out that that's going to be the removal piece that they have to deal with, they've already lost a card or 2. This is, if I recall, some crazy zombie looking guy. Oh, come on. Champion of the Perished. It is not. It is a absolute must-have if you ever want to build a zombie deck. Jadar is also incredibly good. Just the Headless Rider is the alchemy card that I would hate to get. Whenever that or another non-token zombie you control dies, you get to create a zombie, which is not bad. And then this one, when another zombie enters the battlefield, this guy goes +1/+1, so he's just a zombie engine. I have 3 of these already. I think we do this. Let's go for it. We don't have any zombie decks. It'll be fun. We do have some things, but Arcanist is a Haughty Djinn, if I'm not mistaken. It is a Haughty Djinn. Haughty. And I do believe that if I go look under my djinns, I only have 2 of those. So getting a 3rd one of those would be excellent as far as being able to make decks around the Haughty Djinn style. What you want to do with Haughty Djinns is you want to cast or discard as many cards into your graveyard that are instants and sorcery spells, because his power is equal to the number that is in there. So you can get up to like 12, 13, like you can just go crazy. And as long as your spells are things like Slip Out the Back or, putting pauses on people, like you can kind of control the board while you're waiting for your Djinn to get up there. It's a pretty cool card in general. Onslaught also is a Gix, if I'm not mistaken. No, it is the Raven Man or the Liliana of the Veil. Liliana of the Veil being one of the best cards in the series. The Raven Man, not quite the same, but there's some blue-black synergies here with Unctus Retrofitters that are going to cause more discards. Every time there's an Unctus on the deck, it's going to cause the Raven to do more Ravens, like he's going to spit out more Ravens. So I think I take the risk on the Onslaught going for the Liliana versus creating the Haughty Djinn. This is more fun, and it kind of fits the zombie theme too, just a little bit. So, yeah. We might get a little bit less frustrated when we're playing because of the fact that these cards are going to synergize a lot more. What did we get? The Rot-Tide Gargant. Tattered Apparition. Aggressive Sabotage. Braids, Frightful Return, Fellswinger, Falcon, Abomination. Well, did get the Champion of the Perished, which is good. That's kind of the thing. Oh, we got the Raven Man. Okay. So, we're not going to see a ton of really solid cards in the discard section here. There'll just be a few. Draw a card, lose a life. That's not discarding a card, right? We're looking for discards. Raven Man, at the beginning of each end step, if a player discarded a card, he can create one. Can't be blocked Raven. So we're going to make an army of Ravens as our goal, and we're going to use the blue draw fade strategy to create the Ravens, to create the blockers and stuff. So essentially, we're probably just going to add the Raven Man to the Protect the Fade deck. 2 mana Death Touching 2/2 is excellent. 2 mana 2/1 that does that isn't that exciting. We've got a couple tap lands and an on-time land, and I think when it dies, you get to create as a zombie. So, excellent blocker. Oh man, if you just weren't attacking it. Okay, I guess we're gonna do this. It's a lot of good cards. He's got 2 flyers. This one's a board pump when things happen. This one gives double strike. Like, that's a lot of good cards. I'm impressed. Probably take out the Swashbuckler Extraordinaire, maybe? Or, I mean, they're all good in their own weird way. Which is weird, right? I think that was a mistake. Yeah, that's kind of how the zombies work, right? You just keep coming back with more. They're kind of like card draws because you're just getting things out of the graveyard and bringing it back. So pretty solid. Pretty solid stuff. Azusa's Many Journeys. Okay, let's have fun building a deck and then we'll call it a day. Sound good? So, we said protect the Fae would do really well with Legislators, and we weren't wrong about that. Do we want to risk losing some removal over here? Or do we want to risk losing some spells that draw cards, since we recognize that Unctus is really powerful? I think we remove the spells that draw cards and the Haughty Djinn. I know that sounds crazy, we just put them in there, but we're going to go with the Raven. right? A legendary creature, and then we're gonna go with the. You know what? We need more of these. We just need them. Do I dare come down on some of these big threats? Do we need more of those? Man, those are good too. I like me a Hulking Metamorph a lot. I don't know about the Kraken, to be honest. Experimental Augury is just so good though, and it's just a common card. We have 29 commons. Let's just get one. Let's just get one. It doesn't. It just draws. It doesn't finish that deck. Yeah. Well, and then let's fix our land too, right? Like, we don't need the word draw. And we've got a pain land. We've got a 2 or more. And we can do a single draw card. How's that sound? Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we added 4 and we took away 3. So we went +1 on there and +3 on there, which is good. We needed it. That gives us 10, 11, 12 different black sources, and that gives us 16 blue. Why are we so geared to blue? I don't know. That's weird. What's our land count? 24. 24 feels right. We're at about 17 creatures. Fake Your Own Death would be good to have an extra copy of. Maybe even more than like a Hullbreaker Horror. Although when those things hit the deck, I'd rather do this. I think like Tolarian Terriers are fun and they're good on defense, but we're gonna clean through the mana just fine. We don't need this either. We can do Le Haughtiest of Djinns. We don't need multiple Ravenmans out at any given moment. We can do multiple Djinns. So it makes more sense considering that we have a decent amount of spells. Non-creature spells is 20 in here. And if I look at like instants, 13 of those are instants and 2 are sorcery. So 15 possible sorcery spells to put in there. The fact that we could mill ourselves and throw them in there that way makes the Djinn really good. The fact that we can use the card draws, the discards that come in and go out, we can discard into there. That makes the Djinns really good. The Phyrexian Arenas bring stuff in. And then this is just like last-ditch lifelink help, where if we get in trouble on the life side of things, this will help control the board state, get -2 to everybody, making at least one attack a lot less effective, and it can also draw cards into our hand, and then give us, the +1/+1 flyer. Like we can get more flyers. It seems a little dirtily. In fact, now that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking life without it wouldn't be bad. I think we have to do that. I know it sounds like we shouldn't be using this on blue cards, but this is a fun deck, and adding the Haughty Djinns to it really opens up, and the Ravenman, like, we're really opening ourselves up to some cool engines. We've got, an engine that messes with power. We've got an engine that grows with every card draw. We've got an engine that like goes wide with every card discard, and then we've got draw cards, we've got draw cards, we've got draw and just draw cards. Sorry, just draw cards. This thing, every time a blue creature becomes tapped, you get to draw a card and then discard a card, triggering both sides of the equation. We can definitely do this to draw cards, and we can do this to give us some lifelink and control the board. This thing can return a target spell you don't control to its owner's hand, or return a target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, so you can just bounce off everything. And then this can obviously duplicate any of this stuff. So I kind of like this hand. It just feels fun. Now, it's a little scary. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Ooh, we are like right on that line of rares. Like if you look at the rarity in here, I don't know if there's anything that gives you rarity. I don't think it does. But we are like, I've had hands where you get to 20 and it's like, oh no, 20 rares is just too much. So we'll see. We'll see if we need to back down a Hull Breaker for a Metamorph, or maybe we control the board a little different. But let's try it again. Try it out again. Protect the Fae with a little bit more offense and a little bit less control. But the things that we took out were control were like poison counter, draw a card, right? That's not that big a deal. The things that we are adding to the equation were haughty gins, just really solid stuff, like, you know, game-breaking kinds of cards. Legislator is not right for this one, but we can build a Legislator haughty gin combo, which is pretty cool too. Okay, we just got to protect our one Fae, so that's all we got. Well, we're dead. Nope. That's not gonna matter. A white control deck? Kinda, yeah. We'll wait until this goes all the way across. Serious more removal. Dude, just go away with the removal. Removal. More land. No, I really want land. 14 cards. That's not a land. I'm gonna die if you don't give me the land. More removal, like... More removal, no land, no creatures. Haha! How's it going? Okay. He's not an artifact, is he? Yeah, he's an artifact. Just... One land. Just one land. Just one land. Just one land. Just want one land. Just one land. Just 2 lands. Like, come on. What are you supposed to do? Huh? What are you supposed to do? I needed the land on the last turn. Yeah, I mean, I just needed the land. Like, come on. I started with 3, and I didn't get 1 on the next 6 turns. You're either all or nothing, Shuffler. That's all you are. All or nothing. That's not my fault. I mean, there's not much I can change, except for maybe increasing the land count and decreasing the card count, which isn't bad. But that's just bad. Just bad, just bad. Everyone's doing a ton of profit taking right now. I don't think it's worth it. Pass the turn, mono red. Oh, wow. Well, why wait, right? Okay. Hello? I think you DC'd. It's fine. I don't like this. Love it. Okay. That wasn't fun, and I think we're probably done. I still like Protect the Fae as a deck. I think that it's possible that we need maybe to remove a non-creature spell and go up a land. It seems like a couple times I've been stuck on the land situation. And there's just a lot of things to do down here, but there aren't a lot of creatures until you get to the, well, 6, 11, 12 total. 12 total down at the bottom, with this one being 13. 14 isn't bad. He's kind of like a creature because he gives him something to attack, and he can sort of block with the -3s. So I'm going to say, just let it go. Protect the Fae is a cool deck in its own way. Traxid Treasure is kind of like some way of us to build an Atraxa-based caster. So we're trying to cast one of these 5 cards, and we're using haste, and we're using treasure mill, we're using an enchantment, we're using prize fight, Gala Greeters, Riveter's Reckoner, and then some removal along with a big score here. And those, and this. I don't hate it. I wouldn't mind another hasty creature or two. I kind of like the Most Wanted. Let's try this one. I mean, this just looks kind of messy, if that makes sense, right? The other one is not messy. This is like blue is about putting things in their right places, and holding onto it, and developing and building out. But what if we did something like just don't care what happens to anything until we get to the end of our curve. So, you know, throw the Rustians down and do everything we can to get up there to cast that. Option. I think we're already dead because there's no way for us to survive this. I can think of. We're going to be at 4 toxic. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I think we're already dead. I could be wrong. Okay. That puts us at 4. This is 5. This is 6. We need to get to 7. We could do this one instead. We won't affect the board, but whatever we can do to prevent the most amount of toxic, I think we have to affect the board. It's not legendary. We could cast it, but we won't be able to cast it a second time. Well, like I said, good game. Nothing we can do. When I say Wizards of the Coast really ruined this game, this is why I say it. Because you have made a card that just won't work in any other way. Like, you can't, if you don't have that exact strategy on the return back to try to win by turn 3 or 4, like if you don't have that, this is just going to clean through tons and tons of wins. So yeah, it's a little bit of a glass jaw, but it takes the fun out of this game. Nobody, like, you're not allowed to play. If you see that card come down on turn 1, just quit. There's no reason to play out the next 4 hands, or 4 like turns. There's nothing that can happen that would work in your favor. they're going to be able to do everything to you and just leave you with no way. If you try to use a removal spell, they'll just protect it. If you try to block it, they'll just pump it. If you, I mean, this is nothing you can do in the first 3 or 4 turns to stop that from happening. And that's a bummer, dude. That is a real bummer. 2, 3, like we've got some cool things to do here. We'll throw a slow, a fast, and then everything will be fast after that point. So, we're good on colors. The mana feels very, very good so far. We're at 26 lands. We were able to build up to get to, like, by turn 4, we had 6 total mana ready to go. So, that was pretty solid. Well, we've got a red fast card. We don't have anything blue. So. Not toxic. Just death touch. Not toxic. I'm just gonna put this out. We can do a removal spell in the next turn if we want, and then an Atsushi. And hopefully by then we should be, you know, if the Atsushi gets one of those, right? Like we'll be in a better spot. So 3, this is 4. Use removal spell. This is 5. Use an Atsushi. Uses removal spell to throw a Titan of Industry. Like that's the most likely scenario. I'm not that afraid of Butterfly Swarm, so I'm just going to throw this out. It may attract a removal spell, it may not, but I feel like it's more productive. Here comes a removal spell. Duty. I have a lot of removal spells here. Yeah. I didn't see a snap there. That was interesting. Well, if he doesn't kill it, I can put out. We're gonna go with 3 treasures. Oh, yeah. No, it's not the play, my friend. Not the play. Yeah, I think I only need to use 2 of my treasures too. So that would get it. We'll go with this. Can't be countered. I did use 3, so I will need another mana or treasure. You don't have word for. I'm sure you have a removal spell. You just don't have word for. Could have ward 4 now on a removal spell. Interesting. Good job. Block that. You gotta block 8. Didn't even see the best part. Yeah, Tyrannix Rex on turn 5, right? It's pretty good. Okay, well that's where we're going to end the stream. We did a ton today. We got through 2 jump-ins. We built, we kind of rebuilt the Protect the Fae deck a little bit. We got a chance to flex the strength of numbers. We got Atrax's Treasure tested just a little bit, and overall I kind of like it. I'd like to get rid of this deck because it's just too much like the other one. And, you know, this is the Jin Fire and Ice Fax. It's kind of like a Ledger Sledder, Haughty Jin, sort of, you know, bring together with an Unctus, and then we've got this going on over here. We've got some Fires of Victory, some Modern Age, which we can remove the Modern Age. There's not a lot of reasons for that. Experimental Augury, we just got a few copies of, which is really good. It will help the Fairy Vandals out. We can remove the Thrumming Bird. I don't think that that's going to do us what we want. We'd definitely like to increase our spells. Maybe decrease our Rabid batteries. Okay. So Serum Snares, Bounce, and Proliferate. Everything will end up with counters on it because of the Retrofitter. No, not the Retrofitter. This. What is the Retrofitter doing? I don't think it's working very good. And we don't have enough... Well, we kind of do. We're kind of in the middle there. Let's check out... let's check out some more removal spells, or we could do either Slip Out the Back. We're going to go 1 or 2, Instant or Sorcery, and just take a look at what are some of our choices. So we can draw cards and cast spells with a draw 2 here, which is kind of cool. We can consider at 1, which is kind of neat for the Ledger Sledder because it can make things a lot cheaper. This is actually a better removal, in my opinion, than this. This just bounces them, unfortunately. What about on the burn side of things? We could do 2 or 4 damage, which would be pretty good, against the toxic creature, which a couple times I've really felt like I wanted that. It's a nice mini removal spell, right? Like, so you could, if you had 2 of them, that's not bad. What else do we have up here? We have Startle, Prologue, Spirit, Consider. I think we keep the burn, right? This is the other option. We're going to have a ton of modified creatures, and this thing is so good at dealing out the damage. It does 3 plus 2. That's really good. I could come down an Unctus, and I could come down Fires of Victory. And then just drop 1 of each. I think I just dropped 2 of those. We'll just use these for artifacts, and then use these as the 3 damage with the 2 that continues on. Right? Lots of modified creatures. Fire and Ice Fax looks like a fun deck. $17, $18, $19, $20, $21. Is this just 21 lands? Okay. We could take the Hullbreaker Horde out, and we could just increase the land in hopes of getting it. But, you know, we've got a couple double pip blues, which I could see us getting stuck on. It's either increase the land count and remove the This deck just got a lot stronger, just to let you know. Because we were able to add the extra Legislator into it. We were able to add the extra Experimental Auguries, which kind of double what happens with the Fairy Vandals and the Legislator. Like, it just makes them so much more potent. And then it also helps with the Forge over here. So we're really messing with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I don't even know about the Professional Facebreaker being in this. Like, what do we need treasures for? That doesn't make sense, right? I think that makes more sense. Yeah, we can control the board a little bit with the bounce spells while we develop. We can use the burn spells and removal spells to keep them on their back foot. And then we can really kind of use like the Untis Tech as a 2/4, and then this thing as a flying whatever 4, as decent blockers for the little guys, so we don't get chipped and overrun by the mono red. Try it once. I keep saying this. We're just gonna do this once. Then we'll go. Oh man. He was singing about Reservoir, 3 Forge. We already got the red. A little confused. But it works. That is smart. Dirtiest of all notes. Didn't see that coming, did you? Yeah. I probably would rather have a Zen attack out there at this point. I mean, I'm assuming there's going to be a burn spell on him. Okay. Okay. Catch a block. Second you. Oh, it would have been nice. Yeah, that's fine. What would you get rid of? Dragon Spark? He's just going to do that thing, and I don't have the blockers to change it. I needed to get rid of that, and should have paid attention to the fact that he was going to get an opportunity to use it. That was just weird. Like, no spells, all creatures, which normally is fine, but not in a deck like that where everything is coming at you from around the creatures and none of it's going through. None of it's going through the middle. I like that deck. I think that there's a little bit of tinkering that's necessary. Specifically, I would like to have a spell or two down here that gives out the +1s to get the ball rolling on some of the proliferations that work here. So I could live without like that. And we could do a slip, right? A slip out the back or two as a solution. I'm actually not so sure about the Fairy Vandals, but once we start getting some of that stuff on there, it gets kind of out of control. So we're going to hold on to it for a second. This gets out of control. These feel good as far as removal is concerned. Like, there's enough here to control the board. The Haughty Djinn actually could be the one that needs to go. I don't love the idea, but we've got so much presence in the air already that having these Haughty Djinns in here instead of having lands to guarantee that we'll get there, I don't know. I'm torn. I have 23 lands. I don't know if I need more now that I think about it. What I might just need is just more experimental auguries and serum snares instead. Let's try it. Let's try it. So we're leaning a little bit more heavy into the non-creature side of things, with the idea being that our non-creatures give us way more value than what we're spending, right? Witness Protection is essentially a removal spell, just drops it down to 1. So if they've got a flyer, we can take them out of the air. If they've got some kind of ability like these guys do, we can stop them from going nuts. Unctus Grand Meditech just allows the Fairy Vandals to constantly trigger their own card draw and discard situation. And I do think that the discard situation should have worked really, really good with the Haughty Djinn, but I'm going to try it this way and see. You know, this one will create some offense. This one will create some offense quick. This is a lot of offense. And this guy can allow these dudes to create some offense. And then these spells are really on the cheap side. We've got 3, 6, 8, 11, 14, 15, 16, 20 total spells in the 2 or fewer category, and just really like endless amount of value coming out of up here at the top. So sorry, you're no longer the guy. You're the new guy. Brewster are out. That means someone's in. That means you're the guy. Ha! We'll call it. GG's.